This week, I finally started moving my body. It wasn't perfect, but it was consistent, and that is a huge win. Starting an exercise journey is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. Even for someone like me, like I am a professional in this field. I help people recover from injuries. I help people start exercising. And even though like this is what I do professionally, it's hard even for me to get started. So this week is all about getting started on my exercise journey, and I want you guys to follow along on how things went this week.
Good morning, guys. So this morning I am gonna start exercising again, and so this is kind of the beginning of that whole journey. I don't have a shirt on because I'm in my own house and I didn't feel like dirtying another shirt for a quick workout because this is a pre-going to work workout. So anyways, this is kind of what I'm looking at right now. This is why obviously I need to lose weight. I'm not happy with how I look, and I just kind of like need to do some body recomposition and get strong and mobile again. So let's go.
Day one, I started with a simple 5-minute beginner yoga warm-up. I used a video that I found on YouTube. There are a ton of options of this kind of video out there, and it is a great way to get your body moving and start out a workout. I will be sure to link the one that I used down in the description box below. So I felt like I needed a little bit more mobility on this day, so I followed that up with some cat-cows and some child's pose with rotation just to get a little more spinal and hip mobility going. I followed that up with some gentle strengthening exercise to focus on core strength and proximal stability. So I started with some bird dogs, then I went into TA activation, and then some glute bridges, and then some banded clams. And of course I did everything on both sides. After that I went into quadruped position and did some scapular stabilization with the band. This exercise is absolutely killer, but it is so good to get some stability going. And then of course I followed everything up with some squats with an 8-pound dumbbell.
I'm gonna be ending every day that I work out with 5 minutes on the vibration platform. The one that I have is by Life Pro. I will link it down below, but I turned this bad boy all the way up to 99, which puts it at about 12 hertz. And that is the ideal frequency for lymphatic drainage. It can also help with pain, proprioception, a whole bunch of stuff. You just have to know like what frequency to use and make sure that yours actually gets the frequency that you need. So yeah, here's what it looks like. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but it's doing some good stuff for me. So yeah, 5 minutes on that, and then I will go get ready for work for the day.
Hi guys, so today is day 2 of moving my body before I go into work. My goal is to do 3 to 4 days of intentional exercise. It doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be crazy. Even if it's only 10 minutes, that's okay. I'm just trying to intentionally move my body to get myself started, because even just today, after the little bit that I did yesterday, I am sore just because my body isn't used to doing like specific exercise anymore. So I'm trying to get used to that and ease my way back in without making myself miserable, without making myself overly tired from having to recover from like really tough workouts. So yeah, let's get to it.
Day 2, I started with another yoga video. I did a little bit of a different one. It was a little longer, and it was not necessarily a warm-up so much as just a beginner yoga video, and I will make sure that I link that one down in the description box for you guys as well. My back was hurting me on this day. I decided to do a little bit more spinal mobility with lower trunk rotations and also working on some open books, which is that upper thoracic rotation as well. Decided to focus on more core exercise this day, so I did some dead or dying bugs, but only focusing on the core activation and the lower extremity movement. I followed that up with some hip strengthening exercises. Here I'm doing straight leg raises on both sides. And then I followed that up with some side lying hip abduction, and then followed that with hip adduction. Again, doing everything to both sides because I don't want to be lopsided. After that, I worked on some swimmers, which all of my patients hate these, but they're so good. And then following that up with some side lunges to a high knee. Again, we're doing weighted. And then after that, I follow up with some more squats.
So as always, I'm going to be ending my session on the vibrating platform that I have. I will link this one down below. This one does go up to 12 hertz, which is the minimum amount of hertz that you need in order to get lymphatic drainage going. So I'm going to end my day on this, and I will see you guys in the next workout, I guess.
Good morning, guys. I look a little rough this morning. Ooh. Today is day 3 of exercising. My goal is to do at least 3 days per week. So far, today is Wednesday. I've done now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I am a little bit sore today, so I'm gonna do more like a longer like yoga video instead of anything else, and then finish that up on the vibration platform. Tomorrow we are planning to go mountain biking, so there's my exercise for tomorrow. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into some morning yoga before I go to work.
Day 3, I was pretty sore, especially in my hips and in my shoulders. So I decided to do a little bit of a longer yoga video this time. It was a beginner video. I felt like a little bit more comprehensive than the other ones have been, and so I will be sure to link that one down below. The whole point of me doing the yoga though is just to keep my body moving, try to work out some of the lactic acid that I'm feeling, and again, just get into the habit of moving my body first thing in the morning. So I will be sure to link down below the yoga video that I did today, as well as the other 2 days.
So I did not film day 4 of my exercise journey. That was Thanksgiving, and we did go on a mountain bike ride for about an hour and a half, which, looking at my heart rate and all of that, it was pretty tough. There were definitely some times where I felt like I was fighting for my life. I definitely crashed into a tree one time and then fell down a hill and ended up in the bushes. So I'll insert pictures of those lovely events because it was definitely an adventure on Thanksgiving, but it was good. It was definitely fun for us to do as a family, and it was an adventure, but also some good exercise. On day 5, which was Friday, I did not do any specific exercise, but I did go on the vibrating platform for a few minutes. I did it in standing for about 5 minutes, and then I also went on hands and knees with my hands on the platform because my upper body was feeling really sore. So going with hands on just kind of focuses all the vibration for the upper body to help flush out fluid and things like that. So I will probably make a whole separate video on the vibrating platform and all the details on that, because you really have to know what you're doing to get the effects that you want, and you have to make sure that yours goes to the frequency that you need it to go to for it to actually work, because a lot of them do not go high enough to get the desired effects. So day 6, that is today while I'm filming this right now, I definitely went for walks today, but I did not do any specific exercise or strengthening activities. And I'm also going to go on the vibrating platform before bed tonight. I will definitely be doing some more specific exercise tomorrow, which would be Sunday. That's the day that this video is going up. But again, I am meeting myself where I'm at right now. And if gentle, more like rehab style exercises are making me beyond sore, that's where I have to start. And that is one of my biggest takeaways and things that, like, if you don't take away anything else from this video, you have to start where you're at, meet yourself where you're at. Do something where you can just get moving and kind of build up. I know a lot of people will just jump into exercise. They will go F45, they'll go CrossFit, Orange Theory, things like that. And that is fine for some people, but speaking from experience as someone with chronic health issues like endometriosis and chronic migraines, and at this point in my life, I am very, very deconditioned. It is not possible for me right now to be able to jump into CrossFit or jump into F45. I would love to do those things, but my body is at a point that if I were to try to jump into those things, it would actually send me backwards. It would be too much on my body. I wouldn't be able to recover very well, and it would be difficult to do that day after day. That's why I'm saying, if you don't take away anything else from this video, just know that you have to meet yourself where you're at. And if that means walking for 10 minutes, if that means standing while doing an activity versus sitting while doing an activity, that little bit of uptick in activity will help you progress. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!